Hello viewers, welcome to Fitness and Tech Insights. Okay, so this is our lesson 3 in this in our introduction to AutoCAD series. So if you've not seen our lesson 1 and our lesson 2, I advise you to do that quickly so that you follow up very well in this class. So today we are going to go straight to drawing. We are going to start drawing and we are going to be drawing in 2D. That's two dimension. So remember that for every drawing, we can do two-dimensional drawings in AutoCAD. We can do three-dimensional drawings, but we are going to start with two-dimensional drawings, and then we're going to try and draw something in this class. So you look at the image in the bottom left corner of the screen. You look at that image, that shape, or that object, whatever. That's what we are going to be drawing in this class. Okay, so now whenever you want to draw an object in AutoCAD, it's not AutoCAD does not have a library where you go and pick shapes and put into this place, and then it turns out what you want. So remember I told you it's your ability to use a combination of these draw tools and modify tools appropriately to shape whatever um geometry you want. Okay, so we are going to look at that drawing carefully and try to understand it, because that's the first thing. You must understand what you want to draw. So we're going to try to understand that geometry carefully, and then we start drawing. Now we look at this thing. It has a lot of circles. The first thing you must do when you're drawing is always try to start with the very simple details. Start with the easiest details, and then gradually you move into the complex ones. That's how it works. So always start with the very easy ones, then gradually you extend to the more difficult details, and before you know it, your drawing will be completed. So looking at this object, we're going to start with that inner circle, the circle of diameter 55. That's 55 diameter. So that's the inner circle, the in this object, that circle, the one inside. So remember, we go pick our circle and then specify center point of circle, and we'll draw our circle. We said circle is diameter 55, so we say D, enter, 55, enter. So where is our circle? Don't worry, the circle is there, but if you drew your own and it got so big that it disappeared, remember our zoom button on our center middle button on our mouse, the one we used to zoom in and out. So just scroll on it gradually, and then you see your circle appears. Okay, so this is our circle of this thing. Then we draw another circle. There is a second circle of diameter 90 and you discover these two circles are concentric circles. So we're going to start from the same center. So we go again to circle. Now if I want to see the center of this circle, I'm just going to hover. Look at my cursor. I've not clicked anything yet. So once I just hover around the circle, the center appears. So I'm going to start from the center again and draw another one, and we say this one is 90. So D, enter, 90. Okay, so we have two circles. We have two circles, diameter 55 and diameter 90. So you can see the way I'm playing around with my zoom tool. Okay, now look at this Y and X coordinate here. It's kind of interrupting what I'm doing. It's constituting a nuisance here. It's called the UCS, the Universal Coordinate System. So I would want to move it out and put it at the bottom left corner of my screen as a permanent position. So let me move it out so it does not interrupt our drawing, it does not block our way. So I'll come to the command line. I don't want to go and start stressing and looking for it in toolbar, so I'll just type UCS on the command line, enter. Now notice the moment I hit the enter button, can you see it starts moving? So corner. So I'll just click wherever I want to move it, and then let me come and put my auto on. Remember our auto from the first class, so put my auto on so it fixes, and then I'll just click on the x-axis, click on the y-axis, so it stays there. Okay, so back to our drawing. Okay, we've drawn our 55 diameter circle. We've drawn our 90 diameter circle. Okay, now there are objects, these like two lines. You can see those two lines that are touching the circumference of these two circles, and we have how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay, so now we are going to try and create those features, so these lines that connect the circumference of these two circles. We have 6 of them, so but we are going to start with one, and we perform what we call array so that we get all 6. Okay, now how do we start drawing it? One very important detail is we start at the one that has a definite position. What do I mean by definite position? Now you know that these two, okay, let's these two up, they are on a slanting line. Look at that line that is 30 degrees with the vertical. So we, in order not to get confused, we start with these two that fall on the horizontal axis. Okay, so for me to draw the horizontal axis, I'm going to bring the construction line. So you watch, I'll go to my draw and then pick my construction line. This is my construction line, so I'll click on it. Now remember, we're always looking at the command window, and it says specify a point or blah blah blah, horizontal, vertical, angular, bisect, offset. What do we want to draw? A horizontal construction line. So we say H, enter, and then we have a horizontal. So just carry it again. The center of your circle is going to highlight. Just click on it, put it there. Then we can use the escape to escape from this particular construction line. So we have our construction line. Now let me tell you one thing with the construction line. This construction line, wherever you put it, it runs through infinity, so it's going to be on in all of your screen. Now look at, I'm trying to reduce my zoom, so anywhere I scroll to, or in this drawing environment, this particular drawing environment, you will see this construction line. So AutoCAD made it so that it does not interfere with your drawing. So that's the difference between a construction line and a normal line. Okay, so we're going to continue now. We look at those lines carefully. We can see that these two lines are 8 mm apart. Can you see that? So check your drawing, the left side of this, the left part of these circles, you see where the dimension is. The lines are 8 mm apart. So what we are going to do now is we will, if it's 8 mm apart, we have put the horizontal construction line, which means that this line is 4 mm. The first one is 4 mm above this construction line, the other one is 4 mm below it, making up the 8 mm. So I'm going to come and pick my what, line 2. I'm going to pick my line 2. Okay, so since this line cuts to the other side too, so I may just want to, let's do one. Let's continue and do one. We are going, like I said before, we're going to array it eventually. Okay, so I'll pick my line and no, escape. Let's go back to our construction line. So I'll come to draw, pick my construction line. So I'm going to pick my construction line and look, let's read again. X line, specify a point or this or offset. Okay, so now offset means a certain distance from a fixed point. So I want this line 4 mm above the existing construction line already and 4 mm below it. So I'm going to use the offset option. So this time around, enter. So now it says what? Specify offset distance. That's 4. Enter. Okay, so once I have my cursor like this little cube, it means I'm ready for selection. So whenever you're working in AutoCAD and your cursor changes to this little cube here, it means it's waiting for you to make selections. Okay, so I'm going to select a line object. So I'm going to select this line, I'm going to select it, and then watch me, I'm going to just click anywhere above it to drop the construction line. Okay, and because our construction line is still at work, so I'm going to again pick this line and then click anywhere below it to give me the offset below. Okay, so you can see what I have. So again, I'm going to escape. I'm done with the construction line. Now I'm going to trim off the excesses. So I'm going to use the trim tool. Now watch what we are going to do here closely. Watch it closely. I'm going to pick my trim. So we go to modify and pick my trim. Look at this scissors. That's the trim. Okay, it has a little arrow inside it. So that's the extent, but that's not what we want the trim. So I'm going to click on trim. Okay, so now once I click on trim, now watch me, I'm going to hit my enter, and then I'm going to start selecting the part of this construction line I want to clean. So anyone I select disappears. Can you see it? Anyone I select disappears. Anyone I select disappears. Anyone I select disappears. That's how it works. So this is it. This is it. Good. So I've done that. So you can see that the part of the construction line we don't need has all disappeared. So when I'm done with my trim, I'm going to do what? Press my escape. So I'm ready again for another operation. So now I am going to clean this. Now I'm going to clean this construction line so that it does not interfere with what we are doing. If we need that again, we are still going to bring it. So I highlight it and I press delete. Okay, so you can see this is my this is the line, this 8 mm line. Okay, so now the next action we're going to do, there are 6 here, so we need to array it. We need to array it. What we mean by array is whenever you want to arrange a particular feature around an axis, we use the array tool. So we are going to array it so that we spread it around here to get 6 of these objects. Now watch, I could actually clean this one. So let me highlight this and delete. I could actually clean this one and leave one. So by the time I do my array um, operation, is going to give me all 6 of them. So come to your modifier. Can you see my cursor in your modifier? By default is in the rectangular array, but that's not what we want to do. We want to do a polar array. That's a circular array. It's called polar array in AutoCAD. So I'm going to click on the polar array. Now let's look at the command line. Select object. Now what do I want to array? These 2 lines that touch the 2 circumferences, like we said before. So I'm going to select them. Now I don't know if you have noticed, anytime I'm doing my selection, I click and then I drag leftwards. That's how you can. Now I clicked. Now if I drag towards my right, look at the shape. It's going to give me a blue shape. It's going to give me, sorry, a blue color, and then with solid edges. When I drag this way, it's going to give me green color with broken lines as the edges, and that's the selection. So whenever we are selecting, you click, move towards your left to select the object. So I've done the selection and enter. Remember, whenever you make an selection, enter, and then what is this saying? Specify center point of array. Okay, now I want to array this particular feature around about this circle. So the center point will be the same center of the circle. So remember again, when I hover, the center could show. So I'm going to click on the center. Now what do I have? Can you see exactly what I want? So I can click good to close. But let me explain something. Now we want 6 of these features and we got 6 of it automatically. It's just by chance. So we could want 8, we could want 10, we could want 12. So, but the fact is that AutoCAD by default gives you 6 items when you array. It gives you 6. But we are leaving the 6 now because we want 6. Assuming we wanted 8, now look at this window that opened here. Can you see items? Can you see this angle between? This is, now we are filling it total 360. Okay, so assuming I wanted 8 of this, I'm going to come to this place and then I'm going to click 8 and enter. I'm going to click 8, and can you see it? I have 8 of it now. Can you see? So but we want 6, so we are going to go back and make it 6. I'm showing you this in case you're drawing another object tomorrow and then you have to array and get maybe number of items that are not 6. So you know that the 6 is just a default setting. Okay, 6, enter. So I'm back to my 6 array. So I'm back to 6. Good. So with that, I click on my good. So I've done the array. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, now we've done this, so we look at what next. Now I have 4 circles outside these 2 circles. Can you see them? And these 4 circles, their centers are on this line 30 mm, that on this line that makes 30 mm with the vertical. Okay, so now first of all, I'm going to draw that line, so that because when I draw the line, then I would have seen the center of the circle. I would have gotten the center of the circle. So the first step is to draw these inclined lines 30 mm with the vertical. So again, for this we are going to need our construction line again. So we come to this draw and expand on it, and we pick our construction line as usual. Now remember again, let's read. Specify a point or horizontal, vertical, angular. So this time around we want angular construction line. So we say A, enter. Can you see it? Now it's going to ask you enter angle of X line. Now what AutoCAD calls construction line is X line. Now X line means that if I put 30 degrees, it means that I want to draw a construction line that will make 30 degrees with the horizontal line, because X line is the horizontal line. So but in this our drawing, the construction line makes 30 with the Y line, not the X line. Now in between the X and Y axis we have what, 90 degrees. Is that not this basic geometry? Now because it's we go back to our Cartesian coordinate system. So in between the X and Y axis we have what, 90 degrees. Now if a line, because you can only, in AutoCAD you can only enter the angle it makes with X line. So if it makes 30 with our X line, then it means it's going to make 60 with the Y line, because 30 plus 60 is going to give you 90, the total angle in that quadrant. So but that's not, but we want it to make 30 degrees with our Y line, with the vertical axis. So which means as AutoCAD is requesting we what, enter angle of X line, so it's our angle of X line is going to be 60 degrees. So we are going to type 60. It's going to be 60 degrees, because when it makes 60 degrees with X line, then it automatically makes 30 degrees with the Y line, which is the vertical axis. So 60, enter. Can you see I have my construction line already? So I'm going to move it into position. So again, you know that when I hover around this, the center comes out. Okay, so I'll drop it. Can you see that? Now you can see that it's very, very accurate. This is very, very accurate, because you can already see that it's cutting. It's already cutting that, those my items that I arrayed. So the ones that are on that axis, can you see that it's already cutting it through the center? So I'm going to repeat this construction line for the other side. So I'm going to pick construction line again. So the same process, angular A, enter. Now we want what is it called, the same this. Now but this one is going the other way. So since this is 60 degrees this way, so we want to go the other. So we're going to say minus 60. So we're going to say minus 60. Okay, so minus 60 gives us the opposite of 60. So it's going to position it the other way around. So enter. Can you see it? Minus 60. So I'm going to again hover around it, and then I'll get the center, I'll drop it, and I'll escape. Okay, so you can see what we have. Now what again, now let's look at this. Look at your drawing again. You can see that from the center of these our two concentric circles to the center of the new circle we want to draw, the distance should be what? The distance should be 60 mm. So it's there on the drawing. So the distance between this new circle we want to draw and the distance between this new circle we want to draw and the circles we already have, their center distance is what? 60 degrees. So now we're going to look for a way to, now there are so many ways we can do this. But if we want to, there are so many ways we can do this. So now what we are going to do is, I'm going to draw a construction line again. Okay, let's try and make it very, very simple, so that it will not confuse anybody here. I'm simply going to do is, I'm going to pick a line. Now watch this. I'm going to pick a line, and from this my auto is on, so I'm going to put my auto off. So I'm going to, okay, let's go back. Let's use the construction line method. So okay, so I'm going to pick another construction line. Can you see that I'm going to pick another construction line? And now these my lines, I'm going to draw a construction line that is perpendicular. I'm going to draw a construction line that will be perpendicular with this 60 degrees construction line that I drew. So I'm going to use angular A, enter, 30, enter. Now, can you see it? This construction line is what? Perpendicular, because I'm adding another 30 to it to give 90 degrees. So it's perpendicular with the one I did before. So I'm not going to draw a lot of them together so we don't get confused. I'm just going to be drawing the one we need at a particular time. Now I'm going to offset this through, we said it's 60, so I'm going to offset this through 60. So now you watch what happens here. I will come and in my modified tools, I'm going to look for offset. Okay, so I have my offset, so I'm going to click on my offset, and it's asking me specify offset distance 60, enter. Now I'm going to remember it has given me this cube cursor again, which means it's ready for selection. So I'm going to touch this and just click anywhere above it, I'll drop it. So escape. So you can see that I already have the center of this new circle I want to draw. Okay, I have the center of this new circle I want to draw. So I'm going to go and do what? Okay, since I'm drawing another one below it, so we're drawing another one below it. So I'm going to do repeat the offset again. So I'm going to go again, offset 60, enter. So touch this and repeat the offset below. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the offset below. Good. So we have center for 2 circles. So let's see. I'm going to pick this, and so you can see the center of my circle. So once I put my cursor there, it gives me a sniper. And then what's the center? The circle is what? Let's check. Cancel. Okay, 20 diameter. Okay, 20 diameter. So I'm going to say D, enter, 20, enter. Okay, so you can see that circle. I'm going to repeat this for the one below. So I'm going to repeat this here. So D, enter, 20, enter. Okay, so you can see my circle. Good. So you can see my circle. Now let me delete these 3 new construction lines that I drew, because we don't want to get you confused here. So I'm going to highlight all 3 of them and I'll delete. I don't want to get you confused with so many lines, so I'll delete. Now let's go to this other side and repeat it. So again, I go to construction line. The last time we put 30 degrees construction line. Okay, angular A, enter. This time around we are going to put minus 30 because we want it to be the opposite of the last one. Remember, so we say minus 30, enter, and then again from the center of the circle. Okay, I'm trying to zoom. Okay, and then I'll pan it. Remember, I'll zoom and pan. Okay, trying to zoom and then I pan it so that positions very well for you to see. Okay, good. So I'm going to put it at the center and I'm going to hit the escape button. Okay, so and again I'm going to offset above and below 60. So I'm going to pick my offset tool, and then my distance already 60, enter. So I'm going to touch this construction line and click anywhere above it to drop the one above, and touch it again, click anywhere below it to drop the one below. Okay, I escape. So now I'm going to draw my circle again. So from this point of intersection, what is this our circle again? 20 diameter, right? So D, enter, 20, enter. So I'm going to repeat this for the last one, this one below. So I'm going to pick my circle and then I'm going to come to this place, select the intersection, and I'll say D, enter, 20, enter. Okay, so again, just like we did the last time, I'm going to delete these 3 new construction lines again for the purpose of clarity. So to avoid confusion, to avoid having so many overlapping lines on the screen. Okay, so I'm highlighting 3 and then I'll delete. Okay, can you see what we have? We are gradually getting there. Now there is another circle outside this new circle. Okay, so we have another circle outside this new circle. So we are going to do the same thing for that. Now this, you can see that these 4 circles we drew now, they are covered inside a bigger circle, but part of the circle was, what is it called, was was, what's the word? Okay, yes, it was, what is it? I'm looking for a word. Tangency. Okay, so part of the circle was removed and then joined with this, a radius was put inside. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how that's done. But the important thing is that we are going to draw the complete circle first before we start the operation. We're going to draw the complete circle first. So one principle in AutoCAD and generally in engineering drawing is that, remember that in tangency, if you know the basics of engineering drawing, in tangency, whenever you're dealing with tangency problem, you draw the circle first before you start thinking of how to connect them. So for these four new circles, we are going to draw the complete circles first, then we now start connecting them with the different radii given. Okay, so I remember this new circle is going to be concentric with the exist this one we just drew last. So, and the dimension, if you look at the top left side, you're going to see the dimension of these new circles we want to draw. 18R, that's radius 18. Okay, so we come and pick circle. I'll zoom into this again. I'll get the center of this, my circle. Good. So I'm going to get the center, and since it's radius, there is no need D. So we're going to enter dimension straight since it's radius 18. Enter. Can you see this? So I'm going to repeat this for, I'll pick circle again. I'm going to repeat this for the other three from the center 18. Enter. And then I'm going to do that again. Circle from the center 18. Enter. And the last one, circle, get to the center, click 18, enter. Okay, so can you see I have my circle, the complete circle for now. Then let me come and start putting the radii. Let me come and start putting the radii. So for this, I'm going to use the fillet tool. I'm going to use the fillet tool. So the fillet is going to put a radius in between these two circles and connect them tangentially. Okay, so we'll come to my modifier and I'll look for my fillet. Okay, can you see my fillet? And it's already, yes, can you see my fillet? That's my fillet. So I'm going to click my fillet. So it says specify first object. Okay, for this one, I want to put a radius between this circle. So I'm going to specify this. And then immediately I make the selection. It says select second object. So I'm going to select the second. Okay, I think we missed something in this step. We missed something in this fillet step. Let's start again. We want to put a radius. Fillet. Okay, first of all, radius. We want to put a radius. There are so many things. We can put polyline, we can trim, but we want to put a radius. So we say R, enter before we start making the selections. Okay, so that's what we missed the last time. And since we have said radius, we want to put a radius. What radius? Now, if you look at that top side, there is a 17 radius. 17 radius between, that's what we used to connect the two circles. 17 radius, 17. So I'm going to type 17, enter. Okay, now I'm going to select the object. So I'm going to select this circle and I'm going to select this circle. Can you see that it works like magic? So it has put the radius, that's the tangential, it's called the, is it, yeah, the external tangent. It has put it. We've connected them externally. These two circles, we've connected them externally with 17. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this action for the one below because it's the same thing. So I'll go back to my fillets. Remember, arrow, enter, and we said it's the same 17. So 17, enter. Now I'm going to touch this circle and I'm going to touch this. Okay, so this is what we have. Perfect. And I think about the last operation for this drawing. Now there is another radius between these new circles again and the circumference of this our 90 mm diameter circle. Okay, and for this particular tangency problem, the radius is 14. You can look at your drawing and see that the radius is 14. Okay, so what we are going to do is, so I'm going to click on my fillet again. Good. I'm going to click on my fillet again, and now what am I putting? A radius, R, enter. This time around 14, right? Yes, 14, enter. Good. So I'm going to touch this circle and the 90 diameter circle. Good. Can you see? So it puts the radius. So let's repeat this for the other tray. Go back to my fillet. arrow, enter, 14, enter. Good. So I'm going to click on this and click on this. Wow, this is beautiful. Arrow, arrow, enter, 14, enter. Wow, this is nice. I bet you never believed AutoCAD was this simple to deal with. And the final one, we go fillet, arrow, enter, 14, enter. Good. So touch the two circles, and this is it. We have our drawing. This is so nice. Okay, so the last operation, we are going to trim. Can you see it? Because we drew the complete circle, so we need to trim off the part of it we don't need. So remember what we did the last time. Select trim, and remember I hit my enter, then I start my selections. So good. Every part of this circle that we want to delete, we just click on it, we just touch it, and it disappears completely. So every part of it we want to clean, we just, all we need to do is just to touch it. So every part of it we want to clean, just touch it and it disappears. Okay, can you see? I'm done with this one. So we move over to the next one. Touch every part of it we want to clean. Every part of it we want to clean. So be looking at your drawing and be seeing all the parts of the circles that are not supposed to still exist. We trim them off. I'm going to the ones at the bottom right now. I'm going to these bottom ones right now. So I'm going to what? So clean, trim, 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 and trim. Okay, and for the final one, I'm going to trim, 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 and okay, there's one final part to trim off and trim. Okay, wow. So look at what we have. Okay, so finally, okay, escape. I'm done with the trimming. Okay, I'm done with the trimming, so I click my okay. So finally, I'm done with the entire construction line. So these two construction lines remain. Let me clean them so we appreciate the beauty of this particular object. So come on, look at this. We are done with this drawing, and this is very, very nice actually. Okay, I'm trying to check if we omitted anything. Nothing, everything is complete. Okay, so can you see the drawing? This is it. So this is very, very nice. So at this point you can just go to your save, the way you save stuff on your laptop. So you just go to save, use any name you want to use and save it. And so I'm going to save this because we are going to use this in our next class. We will use this particular drawing in our next class. I'm going to click on save. So I'll save it as what? Maybe where am I saving? In my desktop. Okay, I'm saving in my document. Then I'll save it as 2D practice. Okay, 2D practice. 2D practice. Okay, so I'm saving it. So whenever you save it, put the .gwg. That's the file extension for AutoCAD. So I've saved this. Good. So please don't forget to save this because we are going to use this in our next class. So I've saved this, and that is it. Okay, so before we end this class, I'm going to give you an assignment. So okay, I will need you to do this. Okay, so I want you to draw these ones. Can you see them? Can you see? I'm trying to zoom so you see good. So I want you to draw these four objects. Can you see? So draw this. Thank you. Draw these four objects on your screen. So draw these four objects, and so you're going to draw these four objects, and good. So draw this before our next class so that use this to practice. For these two, look at these two by the right. They are shaded. Yes, they have a shading. So just draw the shape, leave the shading. In our next class, I'm going to teach you how to shade, how to make this hatchet. So just leave it. Just draw the shape first, and then when we come for our next class, when I do the next video, I'm going to show you how to hash a space. Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks for watching through to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in my next video.